all of our collaborative partners and sponsors, from the Union County NAACP to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the Lifting As We Climb Charitable Foundation, the Spot, Deja's First Day of School, written by author Dr. Lashina Gaines, the State of Black Health Conference, Tap and Vine, MMIP, which means Match Made in Purpose. Of course, our brothers of the Delta Xi Nu chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to the State of the Union Qs. And of course, our sisters of the Union County Alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Our own Coach Rob with his phenomenal book, Prayer, Patience, Progress. Anderson Outreach. And as always, to all of our audience members and to all of our supporters, make sure you tap in with us. Shoot us an email, leave us a comment, let us know your thoughts. And if you want to be a collaborative partner or a sponsor in the future, don't hesitate to reach out and pull up a seat to the table and enjoy the soup.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Soup, where conversations simmer, ideas blend, and every voice adds flavor to the mix. I'm your host, Steve Robinson, Coach Rob, aka the Chef. I am joined by the amazing Dr. Jen. I am joined also by my guy, Brother Keon, the professor. And tonight we have another guest. We have a special guest, which is our producer slash sound man slash, I say the godfather of putting this thing together, Brother James Jenkins. Welcome to the show. Brother
Thank you.
James, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Mr.
All right. So
2000.
well, before we jump into this, Brother Jenkins, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll tell the audience a little bit about yourself, and then also tell them how you are the actually brainchild behind putting this thing together.
All right. All right. Thanks. Thanks for allowing me to join you guys. You're an amazing host. And first of all, I'm James Jenkins. I am a project manager by trade, accountant by trade. Work for the federal government. So please God bless me in the things that's happening nowadays. I'm on furlough, so I have plenty of time to do my side gig, which is this this podcast. So so the thing behind this was talking to Keon about, or the professor. I'm sorry, I'm going to use your alias. The professor. He's real big into mental health and the mental health space, and mental health kind of spans from a little bit of everything. Like all the topics that you guys have already talked about has it spins off into a mental health crisis or a mental health. I'm gonna say problem. I'm gonna say issue or concern, right? So I wanted to put together a podcast that allows, regular people. We have basically two professionals, which is Dr. Jen and Keon, and then you have regular folks like yourself, the chef, and usually is the godson. Um, kind of have real world conversations about their experiences, your experiences, and you've been doing a great job at kind of balancing the educational piece of it or the clinical piece of it and the actual personal piece of it. So we wanted to have that forum. This forum is for us to talk, provide outlets, provide resources, and let people kind of hopefully and understand and vibe with what you're saying. So I leave it right there. Hopefully, you got a glimpse of in my
Yeah,
world what I'm thinking about.
well, I guess the second thing we're gonna have to do is get you. After this show, we're gonna have to get you got to get you a name, got to get you a tagline, so that way when you do come back or step in or just add, you'll have one for yourself. So we'll come up with that.
Yeah.
But one of the interesting things you said is what you were dealing with, and then the profession that you're in, and that takes us into the topic. So today's topic, and just I want to let the audience know now, this will be our last recording of the year. We'll put some more things back out until we go into 2026 with a whole new set of topics. Special guests will be live in different places. So we got a lot coming up for you all, but this will be our last taping of the year. And this is called Yolo. You only live once. So James had started out with talking about what he was going through. So now, as we get into the you only live once, and this is going to be a free, open conversation where we're just going to have a good time, talk about what it means to us, How do we? You only live once. How does that apply to you? When does it get out of hand? When does it? When do you need to dial it back in? So we're just gonna throw this out there with that. You only live once, and how does it influence the way you approach your career and personal life? And I'll start off with you, Doc, for you to jump out there on that.
Oh wow, you're gonna start with me. All right, I'll take it. Um, for me, it's about finding value and joy in life. I think I spend a lot of time working, and most of my time at work is just grinding really, really hard to build at my career. And then when I get home, I'm like, I don't want to do anything. There's not much that I want to do besides just kind of spend time with my daughter, spend time with my family. But that's a little bit of time, right? You get off at 5, you get off at 6, and there's this space of just relaxing and then trying to recreate the day to start all over tomorrow. So when I'm able to just say YOLO, I'm ready to just travel. I'm ready to do things that I haven't done before. Matter of fact, I was telling someone the other day that sometimes I'll pick something new that I haven't done before. So like last year, maybe or maybe 2 years ago, now it's been a minute. I was like, I want to go axe throwing. So I just went axe throwing. So I'm always just trying to pick things or go places, try new foods, try new things, just figure out what it is that's going to be different, figure out something that's going to be exciting, find things that are just bring more value and more joy to life. That's my YOLO.
Okay, all right. Pass it on over to Professor.
Yeah. I definitely appreciate Dr. Jen's sentiments on that. And one of the things I've even had to learn how to do, and even went into counseling about, is not wearing too many hats
Mm,
in roles and responsibilities. Everything from family hat, work hat, fraternal hat, nonprofit hat, all these things, and really being intentional on uh, compartmentalizing my time, right? And really focusing on the fact of, okay, during this time, this is your family time, this is your work time, this is me time, travel time, things of that nature. And in order to get to that YOLO that Dr. Jen spoke about so brilliantly, I had to learn the most powerful sentence in the code to get to that. No. Learning
yeah.
how to say that, realizing and understanding that no is a complete sentence. And so when I began to say no to different opportunities and different things that I knew that would be good, but from a time standpoint, I knew it would be very constraining. It was like, you know what, I just don't have the capacity to do it. I value this time. I won't be able to make this. I can make that, and that has helped me out tremendously in achieving that YOLO. And one of the things that I'm also being more intentional about is just what Dr. just stated, like exploring new things, new foods, places to travel, new books, new hobbies. When I got into like graphic arts design and things of that nature, that was one of the things, just kind of looking at it, was like, man, I think this will be cool. Let me try this out, and just picked it up over the course of time. But I'm finding myself being a lot more intentional in trying new things, exploring new aspects of myself, so that yeah, I can go out here, live my best life, put forth my best effort, but also making sure I'm doing it without straining myself in the process.
And that's a good point. Both of y'all made good points, and then I think that's part of it. You only live once, and so James, we want to break you in on this to say how do you look at that? You only live once.
Yeah, I look at it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, or go against with what the professional says. I look at it as we take it out of context. I think people take YOLO out of context, and it's a reason to make a bad decision. And I do think you only live once, so you have to. You only They say you only live once. You actually only die once, and you live every day. So, and that's how I look at life. Yes, I'm gonna live every day within boundaries. And like Dr. Jen and the professor said, like you have to live life within the means of your boundaries, within the means of your what you can do. And traveling is that for Dr. J, and graphic design, or actually picking up new skills. I think the professor said. Me personally, I probably don't have a work life balance. I do more work than life, but then I do more life than work. It's always not a balance for me. And I don't live YOLO because I think YOLO will get you broke, me personally. But I'm not that guy. I like financial freedom. YOLO, if you live YOLO, there's no financial freedom in YOLO unless you already have a trust fund somewhere. I don't. So yeah, but I do think you need to experience different things within boundaries, within reason. That's how that's my perspective of YOLO.
All right, so let me pull all of this together. Okay, so we got one that's talking about Doc Jim, you out here throwing axes. So I know if you start throwing stuff, I already know you probably think you're gonna be accurate. So look at that.
Hey, and look, and throwing axes is not
Yeah,
as
yeah,
easy
that's a
as
little
it,
bit
bro.
different. So
It's not
Professor,
that bad.
It's a,
okay,
it's a skill.
good,
And the
good.
fact that she says it's not that bad lets me
It's
know
not
that she picked
that
this up real quick.
Right, right, right. And then Professor, you had talked about experiencing new things, trying new stuff, and then James, when you had talked about it's like you don't want to be the bearer of bad news. That's not a bear. Like none of this is bad. You know what I'm saying? So when I bring it all together from what I've gathered from you, I look at it like this: you only live once, and it can go both ways, and it depends on who's the narrator, who's controlling that, who's saying what it is. If it's a person that says, "Hey, I only live once, I want to take this trip, I'm gonna go out here," even though I know it, I look at life like this: we do what we want to do, we make time for what we want to make time for, we will spend what we want to spend, we will get it. I used to always say, we'll go blow the check and then be saying that the devil messed up my money. Well, no, it wasn't the devil, it was you. And then God blessed me, open up the door. Well, he blessed you, you just decided you wanted to only live once. And the thing
Amen.
about it is, as long as you're okay with you and your decisions, you're okay with you and your decisions. Now, there may be consequences to it. It may be things, there will be some things that come with it. But I believe that we will do what we want to do and make time for what we want to make time for. It did a lot of people say, well, I'd like to go to that, but I can't because I don't have. No, if you really want to go, you'll go. If that means I have to change this for that, now, you only live once part can be, all right, they're going on a trip next month. I know I really can't go on there. Say next month, say homecoming. It's been homecoming season. You will get a call to say, "Hey, ride out with us up to this for what we coming right back tomorrow." Well, I know I got to take care of this, this, and that. So if I do A, B, and C, it's gonna mess up D. But I only live once, so I'm gonna go try it. Now, depending on the person, and the effects that it causes. You can go do that. And it's not that you're a bad or wrong person. Now you may suffer, and I don't know how long that suffering may be. You might get that light cut off, phone might be down, or you might not be able to go out to go out and eat that weekend with people. That is your choice. And I think that you only live once part is basically saying that how are you going to choose to live your life? Because the thing about where I look at it is time don't belong to me, and so you better do what you can while you can with your time. And I know the one thing that James said about having financial freedom, you definitely want to be able to have that, and that, but at the same time too, if you're not there, you just got to decide which side do you want to be on today. Do I want to take this chance? Do I want to go out and make this trip, even though I know it's gonna hurt me next week? I just cannot go to the next show, but I'm able to go this one time. Or another thing you got to look at too: how many times does opportunities present itself? How many times is going to present to say, hey, we all gonna take this trip to Vegas. And it's like, hey, you know what? I know it's gonna be tough on me, but I can make it. One thing I'll say about like my daughter, her and her friends, they've been friends since they were like little. Like it's like five of them, even with their kids. They get together once a year intentionally. They try to do things together, and it's like I know it's been times where it's like, one maybe can't go, but it's like, hey, we'll help each other to go because you don't know when you're gonna get that time. You know how many calls you'll get to say, this person is passed along or this person is sick with this, and it's like, dang, I wish I would have went and spent more time. Well, don't cry now because you could have made that trip. You could have made that decision to go do that. So as we're talking about, as we only live once, and what we decide to do with it, I want to ask you all: do you think that do you have to have a certain balance or a perfect balance between taking care of the work and the life? And I know you said I do probably more work than life, and the thing that you know about it. You can work yourself to it. Ain't you can have all of the financial freedom and all that stuff, but if you go tomorrow, those people probably not even gonna name not one building after you. They not about. They gonna send. They might send your people flowers, but they gonna keep on moving the next day. So I want to ask you all, how does that look to you? Is it a do you have to have a perfect? Are you trying to have a perfect work life balance in between those two things? And any of y'all can jump on that.
Well, let me I start and
Yeah, jump on in 2000.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so hopefully I ain't come across like I'm just being looking at it negatively. So
Okay, hold on. Let me pause you right there. Okay, so the soup. Okay, so it says it is where conversations simmer, ideas blend. Every voice adds flavor to the mix. Whatever your voice is, whatever it don't nobody have to agree. We don't have to see none of this. And so it's not going to come out because what you have to see is that someone that catches this is going to relate to what you're saying. So
Yeah.
don't go back on it because we don't want them to feel like, oh man, that's how I was feeling. Now he's saying that's the bad guy.
Hey,
So
if you gonna bring that spice, bring that spice.
you better throw the spice. You throwing a little
yeah,
cayenne in there.
great, great.
Moving it
I
on.
Make it
appreciate that.
season.
Thanks
We
for
Ah,
like a
thanks
little
for
Cajun
putting those.
style. Go ahead and make it spicy.
Right.
Yeah, might as well.
Thanks for adding that. So so like I said, there's some boundaries to me for me, and you're absolutely right. There are opportunities and things that you want to do in your life that only presents itself a few times. Now, you did say something along the lines of regret. You didn't say regret, but it's basically there's some things that you may regret for not doing because people who might have passed or what have you. So eh, I look at life as how am I going to feel after if I do this risky thing? What I'm gonna feel after, especially if it didn't go good. So that's the mental health piece that resonates with me because now I'm depressed, or I'm regretting I'm doing making bad decisions and things of that nature because I wanted to go to homecoming for homecoming is pretty easy, but
expensive.
I mean it can get expensive. It can get expensive,
Real
especially
fast.
when you don't plan. And you said something else about like your daughter and her friends are intentional with the opportunity that they have. Now, that's not a YOLO type of thing. YOLO means if in my in my mind, YOLO means, hey, the professor want to go up to Greensboro, and he just told me an hour ago. What am I doing? I got my kids over here, my wife right there, and yeah, let's go. That's to me, that's a YOLO type of situation. I ain't even allocate no funds. I didn't even tell my wife. I didn't tell, my kids I go to school tomorrow. Now I'm messing with somebody else who's gonna mess with me. Now I feel depressed all week. Cause I mean, you don't have a wife, Dr. Jim, but once you do something that's your wife but against your wife, it's gonna be all week, maybe all month, depends on
Oh,
the wife.
there's gonna be a branch in that timeline.
Right. So,
So it can go one or two ways.
yeah, but I think there's a difference when you talk about opportunities and YOLO. Opportunities, yes, you're absolutely right. Take an opportunity that you've been working for that come upon you. But the rest of that stuff, the reason to make bad decisions, YOLO.
Well, I think and what it sounds like, and what I don't want it to be, and again, it's in the eyes of the beholder. YOLO does not mean it's a bad decision. I don't have to. You don't have to equate it to it. I think when the song came out, or when it was being said in music and things like that, because a narrative was created to like, well, we only live once, might as well go home and do it. Like that could be. It could be a. All right, so everybody up here, we on the zip line or the parachute. Like, hey, you can do it if you want to. Like, nah, well, you only live once, you can do it. So I think it depends on the narrative that you put behind it. Now, and I want you all, but I want you other two both to feedback on that because I look at it like that trip of, hey, let's ride up to Greensboro because I've been called to say, hey, um, these boys coming out today at such and such. You want to, it's a show tonight. It's a probate tonight, a pro show. Let me make sure I say this thing. it's a show reveal, whatever you want to call it, that's
it's a
there.
it's a neophyte presentation.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, help me out with that, brother boss.
I
Don't
got
want
you,
no
Jess.
problems. Just don't want no problems. Like you say, Don Chin, don't want no problems.
No
Um,
smoke.
The
no
presentation
smoke. But if
tonight.
somebody say, "Hey, it's a show tonight," and you didn't know about it, and it's like, yeah, it's a couple hours. Like, well, yeah, I'm gonna ride over and check this out. Yes, it may throw a couple things over, but the choice to live on regret is on the person, because you can have a couple drinks. So we can start out like today, working out, hot practice or whatever, and then say, well, we're gonna go have a drink or two. Well, if you decide to have a little bit more drinks, then don't be getting mad at yourself if you know you got to be at work at 6 and you go and your body ain't moving like it used to. You can't recover that.
You ain't 25 no more.
You ain't 25. Those are all choices that I think so much for me is like you just got to be okay with your choices. You got to be okay with long as you okay with it. And yes, it can affect you, but you got to be okay with what you decided to do, and don't live with regret, because I think living with the regret will cause you more problems than dealing with whatever you're getting ready to deal with. I mean, and it depends. That varies. So the other two, Doc J, Professor, y'all give me some feedback on that as
Yeah,
well.
no, but I appreciate both y'all perspectives because hearing that, it really at the end of the day, it is a choice, right? It's what you make of it, it's how you interpret it. I would even throw in another factor into this that oftentimes and a lot of times, sways the way someone views an opportunity or taking a chance on things is their not only their lived experience but their faith. You will be amazed at how many times someone will kind of reconsider something because of their faith walk or their belief in certain things, and so that kind of sways that dynamic. But then also, you all brought up another point too. Say I do something and friend of ours passes or I missed this window, so now I'm going to have this thought in the back of my mind like, man, the last time something like this came up before, this occurred, and so I didn't get that chance again. So I don't want to miss this again. I don't want to, you know, uh, miss the opportunity to have this grand experience because someone offered it to me, and I decided to shy away from it because I couldn't afford it or because the timing wasn't right or it was too spontaneous. So it's a lot of different factors that comes into play when it comes to those particular YOLO moments.
Mhm.
And it could be persuaded by someone's faith. It could be persuaded by a previous experience that they had. So it's a lot of different factors. I'll give you a quick one for me as a child. So before my family and I moved to Charlotte, I was playing rec league baseball and we were going into the All-Star season. And so my dad had landed some tickets at the old Charlotte Coliseum on Tyvola Road when Dream Team 2 was popping in the mid 90s. So you had Shaq, all them boys on there. Now our team had lost game one out of, the best out of three. And then we won the second one. And so losing that second one, we had to come back the next night to play. That next night was the Dream Team 2 game. And I
Wow.
vividly remember my father telling me, look, you can either take these tickets, go enjoy this game tomorrow, or you could go out here and win a championship with your boys, and then we have a better opportunity next time. Man, when I tell you I'm 13 years old, I stayed up all night pondering on that thing. Like, what am I going to
Man.
do? Needless to say, I chose to stay with the team. We won the state championship, went on to Malden, was a couple of games away from going to the Little League World Series. And after that, I had other opportunities to go to NBA games, All-Star such things of that nature. So I was fortunate that the outcome happened the way it did. But even going back, I was like, man, had I left my boys that night, I don't know if they would or would not have won that game that night. But I didn't want to know what that outcome would have looked like had I
For
not been
you.
there for them.
Yeah, that
And
would have
so,
been on you.
yeah, they depended on me. And so, you got things like that. You got your family depending on you, got all these elements. Or, man, I got to be there for the squad. But yeah, there's always going to be moments like that. And it may depend on your responsibility, where you are in your life, where you are in your respective faith walk, all these things that really goes into play in literally those split seconds that can persuade whether someone YOLOs or be like, hey, yo, bro, I'm going to get you on the next one.
Well, and before you take that, Dr. Jim, the realest part of that was And I like that. What your father did was say, "Hey, I'm gonna put this on you." And that's the part, like put it on you. See, it'd have been easy. Like a lot of times when, people will say, or call you and say, "Hey man, you think I should take this job or you think I should do that?" I tell
Yeah,
people a lot of times, you don't want to be a part of that decision because even though you might be like, if you do this, so I might tell myself, like, y'all don't need to go to that. It can be off the chain or it could be some trouble. But you got to let that person make that decision because say they don't and then don't nothing happen. Or you say, hey, yeah, you should take that job. And then they take it and they wish they wouldn't. Or if you say you shouldn't take that job and then they wish they wouldn't. So I like the fact that he put that back, he put the play on you to make the decision. So
he
whatever
did.
you were comfortable with, that's what and that was a YOLO situation in itself.
It
The
was.
decision
It
was
was
a
on,
YOLO,
man. 13 years
that,
old,
that decision was
opportunity of a
on you.
lifetime.
So you start setting that yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And even since then, I always look back on that moment like, okay, what do I weigh out in these circumstances, right? What is the potential outcome here? What are the consequences? You know, is this going to benefit me or so it's a lot of different things, but I can honestly say when it comes to, some of my YOLO moments, I look back on that moment when I was a 13-year-old young kid and made one of the biggest decisions of my life in determining whether to be there for my team or go enjoy this moment at this exhibition game.
Wow. Anybody else want to add to that? Doc Jen, you got anything?
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing from everyone is that YOLO is multi layered, right? So, depending on people's perspective, as you said, Professor, that we are making decisions that could be short term, long term. We're making quick decisions. We're making decisions that may take some more time. It could be about taking risk. It could be about our peace. It could be about productivity. It could be how to write some stuff down because there's a lot being said in there. It could be something about our passions, about whether we're going to decide on our peace, about our faith walk. Um, it could be something that can impact our mental health, our happiness, our purpose, what we want to do in the future life, what we want to do right now in life. So I think that all of us are trying to figure out if it's going to be something meaningful or maybe just a combination of trying to create a space of fulfillment for us, right? No matter if
Mhm.
it's something right now or if it's something a week from now or a year from now. And sometimes that could be a financial impact for us and our stability, but it could also be something that could not impact our stability and financially and still create peace. So, where do we find that balance, right? Where do we kind of marry those two and bring it together as to where we feel comfortable with some of our decisions so that YOLO doesn't have this big catastrophic impact that we're thinking of that is so risky that we just did something that is like gonna upset our family, wife, husband, or whatever, or gonna upset us in the future. Cause I don't always look at YOLO as and maybe because I'm not a risky person. Maybe because I'm like a little bit more on the safe side. I don't look at it as something that is going to be terrible. I'm looking like, oh, I'm gonna take, and y'all know I love, since y'all know I love to travel, I'm already thinking about my summer trip. It's gonna be amazing.
Right, right.
I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
so that trip is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be dope. I gotta go all out, but I'm already making plans for that trip. So I gotta do all the things to get to that point, right?
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, those are my thoughts.
And that again, one of the things y'all mentioned, somebody said about the word peace, and see, whenever I hear peace, those are like I've always said, not always. This has become my thing lately. Like my two greatest gifts are time and peace, and I won't negotiate those for anybody because those are two things I can't get back. So when you're whether it is a YOLO moment or how that comes up, what guilt are you willing to live with if it is some, and then what disturbs your peace? I'm a person to where I'd rather have my peace than to be anything else. So if that means I need to chill just so I'm not hearing no yelling or something about something else that you went at it, I'd rather just preserve my peace. That could be with I know that, I'ma still be fine even if I know I shouldn't have taken that chance to spend this extra money here or there, but I'm gonna still be fine. But is it going to disrupt my peace enough to the point to where that causes me to disrupt other things around me. So I think once your peace is disturbed, you start to disturb everything around you. And that becomes the time. And then now my time is disturbed because if my peace is messed up, then my time is automatically taken because I'm giving it to trying to get my peace back, and I can't get neither one of them back.
Yeah.
So that is a big thing of and then I think also as we're talking about this, you only live once. I'm gonna say narrative or whatever. What are you willing to live with? When do you think that the guilt of something has weighed on somebody too much to where it's affecting everything else?
No, that's a good question, man. And hearing you describe that, when you talk about your time and your peace, I had the perfect analogy in my head as you were describing that. And Dr. Jen, you can definitely relate to this. Have you all know what it's like when you travel to a resort and recognize that there's a difference to when you travel to a family resort and an adults only resort? There's a certain type of vibe, there's a certain type of expectation, and when you're going on a trip like that, and it's going to be adults only, then you're going to be able to do adult things and move a certain way, and not worry about some kid tripping up on your ankles because the hot dog and hamburger line is running hot. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's
Right.
a different vibe. But just thinking about that and thinking about time and peace, and when you say the guilt and the negative consequences that sometimes occur when we make those YOLO decisions, I think, and even from personal experience, I think those moments, that guilt comes when it negatively impacts someone close within our circle. Someone, whether it's family, friend, colleague, whoever that individual may be. If my decision that day, that evening, that week, and as a result of that decision, someone who's dependent upon me or an event or something that they have coming up that I missed, and them missing my presence there, and it has a negative impact on them emotionally and mentally, yeah, that guilt can weigh in on somebody. And not to fall back on them homecomings again, I've seen a lot of tough decisions get made when there was a wedding, a party, a special event that landed on the same weekend as someone's homecoming, and
Mhm.
it led to some pretty brutal outcomes. Like, man, you chose this. Like, hey, man, it was G-Hole, man. I couldn't, I couldn't miss. But you'll be amazed. But like you said, when that guilt or that thing happens, when I've seen and experienced and seen those things occur, it's often because the decision that was made had a negative outcome on someone that was extremely close to them, especially from an emotional standpoint. And now they get hooks in like, oh man, did I really make the right decision in that moment?
Good, good. James, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, so is listening. Let me say this. I love the peace thing. I mean, you said that earlier in another episode, and that thing kind of hits home. It resonates with me because I never really thought of it in that aspect, or that way. So I love it. So but I think we kind of expanded out of YOLO into like this regular decision making period. So this is becoming like, who are you as a person and what do you value? All right.
Mhm.
It becomes more so than YOLO is a rash decision, either good or bad, whatever negative. But things that we're talking about now is talking about like who you are as a person and what do you hold true for you and people around you. That's and and I hate to say it, a lot of times when you like Professor just said, between a wedding and a homecoming, it tells you a lot about it. It tells you a lot about a person, in my opinion. You skip my wedding for this homecoming. What's going on here? You know what I mean? Like,
It's hard out here, man.
these are the decisions, right?
These are the decisions.
But kidney transplant or the bar. I mean, let's go.
Right.
It's but it kind of tells you the kind of person you are. So I think like,
Well, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. Let's go. Let's go. So, because I like this is why it's called the soup. So we
Yeah,
don't have to
man.
do it on one thing. We change it to what we want to. This is the soup. This is ours. And
Throw a
so
little something in the
when you
gumbo.
said that, you said this tells you what type of person you are. Then when that person that makes that decision. Now, on the other side of that, does it tell? me what type of person you are on how are you going to forgive that person to move on. Like if they did decide to do that another. So now what type of person are you if they did miss it and don't come? So are y'all done? Is that not your people no more? I mean,
But
now since you put it there, I'm gonna bring it on back
Put it
because
out
it's
there.
gonna tell you what they are, but what is it gonna say about you on how you react to them?
that's what
Yeah.
you. It's my first time on the show, and this is what you want to Jeez.
Hey, hey, pull up, grab a bowl. You in there now, Jay?
You you got your
So
soup now, buddy.
You in the soup now?
so yeah. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and you guys kind of know this as a because of the fray. I'm a temperate justice with mercy, right? And I'm gonna move on, and we're gonna have a conversation about you missing my wedding because of homecoming. You know, personally, I probably will never put it on homecoming because I do things like that. This had to be my wife thing or my future wife plan to put it on homecoming. That's it. But just so you guys know, but yes, I will temper justice with mercy because things happen. People make bad decisions. I gonna say it's a bad decision. People make decisions they hold true, hold prioritize, and your priority is not my priority. So, but if you're a good friend, always been a good friend,
Yeah,
what let's be real. I can't lose a
yeah.
friend over that.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Now,
what
but
I'm
now,
going
but
to
now,
know.
if it was some regular old Joe Blow, it would be some smoke, Jay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it won't
Yeah.
be, but regular old Joe Blow won't go to my wedding. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
right, right. So if you got that, and I get, and I just want to do the, play both sides of that coin to be able to say it because again, it still goes back to me to say we do what we want. At the end of the day, we will make it happen if we want to make it happen. I don't care what nobody say. I
Yep.
mean, I don't care where we're at. I don't care where you are financially. When you want something to happen, you gonna make it happen. If
You
you
gonna do
want that like Jay, she knows she want to go. She gonna make that happen. Whatever it is, you gonna make it happen. And that B day party, we ain't dropping no dates and none of that because we don't want to. Like Jay ain't playing all that. We ain't telling everybody all that. But it's one of
Stumper.
those
it in the
things.
promo. In the promo.
It's one of those things. Like we will make happen what we want to happen. And so it's just like if you having that wedding, like that's my guy, that's my dog, that's my homegirl, that's her day. I'm gonna get there regardless. You know, and then you'll get the ones, man. Sorry, can't make it. That like the whole thing of like even with going into the induction to the Hall of Fame a couple weekends ago back at Marshall, I had more calls like, man, I ain't gonna be able to make it, or those that did to say I'm gonna be there. Like, listen, I'm not upset if you can't. Like, if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. You don't make it about that. Like, no, I'm not gonna not like rock with you or love you no more or less than that. You know what I'm saying? If my family was there, they were able to be there. You had people that weren't able to make it because I had some people that wanted to go, but I knew that don't put you in a type of bind. You don't need to come. Like it's all right because they done flipped these hotel numbers up to where they was like, I don't care, you got AAA, veteran, or whatever else, the numbers is up there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a hard hit for somebody.
Yeah.
And as much as I think you're doing it to show like, how much I care about you or support you. I'm gonna be there. But at the same time, I'm like, listen, we can do something else another time. We can celebrate another day. We can do something different. So I allow that grace. You say I give that grace. But at the same time, we will make happen what we want to make happen. If we know if you trying to get that outfit, whatever that outfit is, Doc Jen, you getting that outfit, you're gonna have it to happen. You trying to get to somebody trying to go to that game. You want to make sure you go to that game. If you want to go to this party, if you want to go, you will make that happen. So we make happen what we want to make happen. The thing is, you just got to be okay with what you decide. And then that's just my opinion. And as we, start to close this thing, wrap this thing up, we'll make sure that Brother James becomes back again. We're gonna put him in
Yeah.
there, put him
We
in
gotta
that mix.
bring Jay back. You gotta bring him back.
Put him in that mix. I want to close it out. Just asking like each of you to take this. When you look back on your life and the YOLO moments, or the who you are moments, what do you hope you'll have spent the most of your time doing? Anybody?
so I say it since I guess the rookie right now. So if I had to, look back and look at these moments, I think Keon shared a great story about how his dad put that decision in his hand. I had something like that along the lines of college because I wasn't going to college. I didn't know, but my mom said YOLO, right? Try it, you'll like it. Now 30 years later, I've graduated and moved on, and somewhat successful. I mean, I don't. Success is a state of mind, not really anything more than that. But someone once told me, and I live by this, and I try to live by this. Who have you helped, and what's your impact to the world? So I try to live that piece of it. That's my YOLO moments. Who am I trying to help, and how am I impacting at least my where I'm at now, family, work, community. So
Okay. Next.
I guess
Got it.
I go. But yeah, and definitely before we close out, I want to just make just a couple of points. First of all, thanks for letting the audience know that I love to travel and where I don't like to tell people where I'm going until after I get back. And number two, that I be wearing certain outfits that obviously people enjoy. So just catch me on my Instagram or my Facebook. But
Talk that talk, Dr. Jen. Talk.
right,
I caught that.
Yeah.
I also just wanted to bring up for our audience, recognizing two B's, boundaries and also burnout. Making sure that you are careful of the when you're putting in YOLO into place, that you are not burning yourself out and that you are setting proper boundaries. Earlier, Keon said something wonderful about recognizing the no, and no, yes is a complete sentence. But for me, I hope to definitely every day do something that I love, even if it's something small, whether it's taking a little nap, watching a little Netflix, finding something that I like to read, spending time with my child, just doing something every day that I love. That's a very pleasant thing for me to do, and it makes me feel good about what I do.
All right.
Well stated. Well stated. And finally, to wrap up on my end, Chef. Um, Congratulations to you again, Hall of Famer. Well deserved. Wish we could have been there with you, but salute to you, brother, and commend you on all of your remarkable work throughout the community, throughout your profession, keynote speaking, and all that. So I wanted to make sure I shout you out on that. And just for myself, when I think about YOLO and my growth and my perspective, and from even now, in my journey as a PhD student, um, I've learned to really maximize on my time and opportunities to just explore things and just to do different things. And so I find myself feeling joy not only when I've been able to help people and have success in that capacity, but I'm finding now that my newer YOLO moments occur when I surprise myself, when I've
Ah,
accomplished or done something where I was like, I didn't know I had that in me. I didn't know I didn't know I could write that, or I didn't know I would achieve that. And, and it's one of those things, going back to my pops, where he always says, never cease to amaze yourself. And so in order to do that, you got to try new things. You got to challenge yourself in new ways. Yeah, there's going to be some failure that comes with that. There's going to be sometimes some hardships. But when I have those moments and I step back like, oh man, that really happened. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, go ahead, brother. Pat yourself on the back and commend yourself. And so those have been my new moments, my YOLO, my journey, my experience, and yeah, and so I'm just always just looking for newer ways to just elevate myself, to try new things, and just add different tools in the toolkit that whenever y'all see the professor, be like, hey man, that's a cool dude, it's a talented dude, he can do this, he can do that, and he's unafraid to continue to learn and get better.
all right. All right. Well, listen, as we bring this to a close, we want to thank our producer, slash sound man, slash all the above, Brother
Man
James Jenkins,
behind the
for
curtain,
part of this
yeah.
today.
Job, Jay.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. And as well, being on the soup today. Talking about YOLO. Remember that living with YOLO mindset isn't about being reckless. It's about intentional courage. You have an intentional courage to do something that you want. And if today's episode conversation inspired you, hey, make sure to share it, leave us a review. Don't forget, we will be back in the first of the year in January of 2026, Lord's willing, and we're all there because he gonna YOLO us on through this because he has more things for us to do as we do what we do to help others get better.
Amen. Amen.
So
Amen.
thank you again for your time. On behalf of my cast, the crew, the godson who's just got back from out of town somewhere. We won't drop locations, Dr. Jim. We won't drop
Look, we're just glad our brother is back
we're
safe.
just, we're
Thank
just glad
you.
to be back. We're just glad to be back. And that's the beautiful part about this show. I'm really happy to be a part of it. I mean, we just have fun, man. We laugh with each other, we joke with each other, but then we're serious. And for me, y'all just don't know, this is just as therapeutic for me as it is for anybody to listen. So thank you
Absolutely.
to our listeners. Please like, share, leave a review, and we will see you when we come back in 2026. Have a good one.
See y'all next year.